Today, I want to talk about being single, especially after the end of a long-term breakup, and how being single could be the best thing that you ever do, even if you decide to get back into a relationship a little later. But embracing singlehood, bachelorhood, after the end of a long-term breakup could be the foundations that you need for a better life afterwards, whether it's on your own or whether you enter into another relationship. The point is, don't fear being single, embrace the single. Let's check it out. Full disclosure, I'm currently in a relationship of 6 years. Very lovely. Thank you very much. But after the ending of a long relationship I previously had, which produced 2 beautiful kids, there was a period of time of about 3 years when the idea of getting into another relationship was the furthest thing from my mind, because I was absolutely loving being single. And it always struck me as odd that I see so many couples break up, and within a matter of months, sometimes weeks, these people have got like another partner. And I often think, like, wow, do you feel peer pressure that you have to be in a couple? Are you so scared of being on your own for a period of time that you cling to the next person that comes along? I mean, I get it. Everyone's different. But from my experience, that period of being single, well, to be honest, was absolutely amazing. The end of a relationship, of course, is full of emotion and can be difficult for both parties. And in my case, it was probably more a blessed relief for both parties, and there was a certain inevitability about it. And, you know, we agreed to co-parent the kids. So I have the kids half the week, their mum has the kids the other half of the week, and it's worked out pretty well over the last 9 years or so. But what that meant is that for 3 or 4 days of the week, I was on my own. Once I'd got my new place, I had my own place, I could put my own identity on that place. I remember changing my wardrobe slightly. I'm not talking full-on midlife crisis or anything like that. I'm just talking about amending what I had from the slightly more conservative style that I may have had in my previous relationship to, like, you know, getting rid of those polo shirts, which were fine, but I never really liked, and buying a load of fun t-shirts and just being a bit more casual and indie and, you know, less high streety, put it that way. So what I was doing was rediscovering the original me. I mean, when you go into a relationship, you bring 2 unique people. But during that relationship, those people sort of merge slightly. I mean, that's what a relationship is. Hopefully you've got some common ground and you find that you adapt and merge. And in doing that, you may cut off some of the sharp edges, and that could be bad sharp edges, but it also could be interesting and good sharp edges that were part of your personality that slowly, over time, may have eroded in that relationship. So being single gives you a chance to rediscover who you are. I don't mean, like, you know, in a hippie sense and traveling to a retreat in Timbuktu or anything like that. I'm talking about just having time, not being afraid of being on your own and being single, and taking the time to work out, 1, who you are, and 2, what you actually want in life, especially what you want in life now. You're a different person than you were when you initially went into that long-term relationship. Could have been 10, 15 years ago. You're a completely different person. And yet there are still the DNA of who you were before that relationship that you might want to rediscover. So having a period of singledom, having a period on your own, is the perfect way to do that. I mean, I remember once I'd got my new place with the kids, I said, hey, let's go and buy an Xbox for the kids, he says. And I used to remember thinking, this is brilliant. I can play games when I want. I can eat what I want. I can eat when I want. You know, if I want to have a 12-hour gaming session, and believe me, that did happen a few times, I could do that, you know? Just me, my game controller, my friends online, I don't know, a few Huel drinks to keep me going. What's not to like? And it was amazing to feel that there was no guilt. If I wanted to wake up or spend the day doing absolutely nothing, I could do absolutely nothing. I was my own person. I had no sort of responsibilities for those 3 or 4 days of the week when I was on my own. I didn't have the kids. And it allowed me to be refreshed and fully charged so that when I did have the kids, they got my full attention. And that's the great thing. I mean, I think my kids have benefited from that from both sides of the former relationship, really. You know, you have a chance to, if you co-parent like that, I think each parent has a chance to recharge their batteries, be themselves for a while, and then they're ready to take on the kids. So it's not like a 7 days a week, 24/7, constant kids. So maybe you could just give them a bit better value in life, or a bit more TLC, as it were. So yeah, you know, you could do what you want when you want. If I wanted to go out on a whim, I could just jump in the car, go out on the whim. If I want to buy, you know, stuff, as long as it's within my budget, well, I'm buying it for myself. There's no one saying, do you really need that? You know, I'm a bit of a tech guy, and sure, I might waste a bit of money on tech and all of that, but it's my hobby. It's what I like doing. You know, I like doing this. In fact, I've got some new tech here. This new microphone, hopefully it's working okay. But anyway, the point is, during that time, I really, really loved it. I embraced it. I, to a certain degree, like I do with all things in life, I justified it to myself as well. And at the time, you know, given my age, I was probably about 50 at the time, 49, 50. I thought, you know what? Actually, in terms of relationships, I'm happy with just looking after my kids and stuff. And I'm done with that, really. You know, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So I absolutely was an advocate for being single. I remember I had a colleague at work, and he broke up with his partner after about 20 odd years, and he was, you know, a bit upset and stuff. And he asked me some advice. And if anything, maybe I was a little bit too exuberant about the wonders of being single. But at the time, it reflected how I felt. I was very like, yeah, look, do it. Don't rush into that relationship like other people. Don't fear, which often I think people do. They fear like being alone. Now, obviously, it depends what age you are. And I think, you know, I was at that age where I was thinking, maybe that's it in terms of relationships. And I was quite okay to sort of accept that, you know. If you were, say, I don't know, in your late 30s or 40s, you may be kind of going, oh my God, am I, you know, I better get back on the wagon, as it were, and all of that. But I would still say, take your time. Have a period of being single, embracing it, understanding who it is that you are and what you want in life. And then, if like me, you suddenly get curious about, I wonder what I might be missing out on, which crossed my mind after a conversation with another colleague who, ironically enough, was sort of joke moaning about his second wife, spending all his money and going on holidays and stuff. And I just kind of thought, that kind of jokey, relaxed feeling he was having about his current wife, I thought, you know, he split up from his wife, you know, with some kids. He met another woman. They had kids. He's embracing a whole new life again. And I thought, whilst I'm loving being single, how do I know it's the best thing since sliced bread? Maybe I need to just check. And so I went on some dating apps, well, I say some, basically Bumble, because it's more woman orientated in terms of the woman has to make the first move. So I thought, yeah, it's less creepy that way, less the casual hookups, which I wasn't interested in. And what that meant, though, my period of being single, is that when I did go back into the dating market, I had the bargaining position in terms of who I was and all of that. I knew what I wanted. I knew what I didn't want. I quite liked being single, so there was no pressure on me to just take the first thing that came along. Although, ironically enough, it turned out that was the wonderful thing. But the point is, I sometimes think if you put too much pressure on yourself about being single and how somehow you need to be in a relationship or a couple or something like that, I don't think you're putting yourself in the best sort of buyer's position, if you want to use that analogy, because you're desperate. And a salesman can see someone who's desperate from a mile away. And dating is a bit like that. So what it meant, I wasn't 100% sure whether I actually wanted to do this dating thing. So I decided to make it really difficult for myself and set the bar super high. Yeah, I wasn't going to settle just because I was desperate to get into a relationship, because I was confident that if nothing came of it, I was happy being single. And with that bar set high, it may have taken a while. It may have taken a lot of swipes. Nope, 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 nope. And trust me, why people put some certain profiles and pictures up on dating sites like they do, I've no idea. That's a whole different video. But anyway, I set the bar really high. I set the criteria very high. And eventually I found somebody who looked interesting, looked my sort. I was very specific about the sort I was looking for, and met up with her. And 6 years later, we're still together. I say together because she's currently in Osaka and I'm in the English countryside right now. But that's because she's visiting her parents, and that's a different issue. A lot of people on the old towpath today, so it's quite hard to make the video. I don't like talking when people are around me and stuff like that, especially relationships. So to summarize, why you should embrace singledom after a long-term breakup. 1, you need to let the emotion of the breakup subside. 2, you should use it to discover or rediscover who it is you actually are. And 3, what you actually want in life. And if after a period of time you decide that actually a life of being single is not for you, you're in a much better bargaining position, because you've learned to accept being single, so that when you do go into the dating market, should you wish that's what you want, or whether you're just curious or not, if nothing comes of it, then it doesn't matter. You're not a failure, because plan A might have been being single, plan B might have been being in a relationship. The point is, you've got 2 plans, 2 scenarios that you're super comfortable with. And therefore, I think that puts you in the best possible position. So that is why I recommend that you embrace a life of being single, whether it's for the rest of your life or for a period of time. But don't feel pressured by society, friends, peers to rush into another relationship until you've discovered or really understood or really appreciated being single, and you know how that makes you feel. Anyway, I hope you found that useful. Hope you found that interesting. If you did, then please hit those likes, because I like it, YouTube likes it, and it helps people like you find content just like this. And let me know what you think about what I've said, and being single after a long breakup and all of that, and whether you agree or whether you disagree. Put it down in the comments down below. And as ever, if you're new to my channel, or even if you're not new to my channel, but you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button, toggle that notification bell, and that way you'll know when I go live with content just like this. Oh yeah, I'm talking of content just like this. Why don't you check out the content here? This one over here. You might like it. Thanks for watching.